State your name for the record.
David McCain.
Oh, good. Okay. How do you spell McCain?
MCCAIN.
Is that a big C or a little c in there?
Big C, yeah, big C.
Okay. Thank you. And where do you reside?
On Carrollton Road, just north of Delphi city limits.
How long have you lived there?
Oh, I grew up there. I've lived there for the past 24 years.
Have you lived in Delphi long, in the Delphi area your entire life, or did you?
No. I lived out of state, several places out of state, for about 30 years.
But you're familiar, generally, with Delphi?
Yes.
In fact, have you been involved in some community type of activity involving Delphi?
Yeah. I've been involved in a lot of volunteer activity in Carroll County and in Delphi itself.
Anything related to the Monon High Bridge or the trail?
Yes. I was
Tell us about that.
project manager for the development of the trail through a nonprofit organization, HHI, and I was also a board member of the Deer Creek Township Board during that period, and the township had an interest in the development of the High Bridge.
Okay. And so are you. Is it fair to say you are very familiar with kind of the evolution of the High Bridge and the Monon Trail as it's kind of evolved over the years?
Well, yes. As a child, I went out there. And starting about 2013, we started trying to get the trail made, and my brother was involved in the trail development earlier than that.
And how familiar are you with the High Bridge itself, the bridge itself?
Oh, very familiar. We had it investigated by an engineer, and then we had the whole business of trying to acquire the High Bridge. It was owned by the railroad, CXS Railroad. And then we developed it, and it was a lot of work to get it to its current state of pedestrian use.
Okay. And have you ever been on and walked across the High Bridge?
Oh, many times.
All right. And when was the last time, if you remember, that you've walked across the High Bridge?
Well, I haven't been across the full thing since it's had its pedestrian, about a month ago or so. I was out there.
Okay. And is it okay if I ask you how old you are?
I'm 79.
And you, at age 79, a month ago, were on that High Bridge?
Yeah,
Okay. Well, do you remember, the reason you're here is because of February 13th of 2017. Do you remember that day?
Yes, I do remember the day.
Okay. Can you tell the jury, well, first of all, did you at all interact with it's kind of a lawyer term there, I guess, were you on the Monon High Trail that day or on the High Bridge?
I was on the trail and I was on High Bridge that day.
Okay. Do you remember what approximate time you were at the High Bridge? Or let's strike that. What approximate time did you get to the Monon Trail?
I'm not too sure. I was out there for probably more than an hour sometime in between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. I'm not sure.
Okay. Where would you park typically when you were gonna go on the trail?
Well, at that time, I'd park at Sherry's Lane or across from Sherry Mears's house.
I believe, let's see if we're talking the same language here. Has.
Well, it was at that point I think perhaps Niches had also acquired. That would be a rather recent acquisition of Niches property that Charles Gerard had.
Okay. I just want to make sure that we're talking about the same place that you parked. Do some people call it Mears?
Yeah, you could call it Niches, yeah.
What's that?
Well, it could be called the Niches Lane or something like that by some people. I didn't call it that.
What about the Mears entrance? Had you ever heard where you parked called that?
Well, yeah, I guess it's called Mears Entrance. We just called it Sherry's Lane. Mr. Mears was on the Deer Creek Township Board, as well as I was, and so I talked with him frequently.
Okay. So now we have a third name for it, it's called Sherry's Lane, but that's where you parked.
Yes.
On the 13th? On the 13th of February, is that where you parked?
That's right.
Okay. Did you ever park anywhere else, like on any other day?
Well, I was interested in the whole area there. We're talking about 150 acres or so that we were trying to acquire, and I'd park sometimes at the building that was right near the highway, and sometimes what we called the mulberry tree, and then sometimes I'd park over on the other side near the Centennial.
So getting back to the 13th, you said you think you arrived somewhere between 2 and 3 p.m.?
That's probably right, yeah.
Okay. What did you do when you arrived at Sherry's Lanes, also known as the Mears entrance?
Well, I parked. There were no other cars. I don't remember any other cars at that point. And then I just walked towards the high bridge first, I believe it was.
Okay. So, I'm gonna do this again. So if you park at the Sherry's Lane or the Mears entrance and you walk toward the trail, which way would you turn to go to the high bridge, left or right?
Left.
Okay. Is that the way you traveled?
Is that the way I traveled?
Is that, on that day, is that the way that you went? You went.
I think so. I might have gone to the right some, but I think it's unlikely. I probably went straight to High Bridge. I honestly can't remember fully.
Fully, okay. But at some point in time, you did go to the High Bridge.
Yes.
Okay. And what did you do once you got to the High Bridge?
I took pictures.
Did you get on the High Bridge?
Yes, I did.
And how far, if at all, how far did you walk across the High Bridge?
Well, the High Bridge E is 852 feet long. Most of it, the interesting part, is right over the creek, which is right near the beginning of the bridge, and I probably only went over the part that was over water, and so I'm sure I didn't go. I probably would have reamed beard if I'd gone the whole distance, 'cause that's pretty kind of exceptional.
Okay. That first platform on the right, are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Okay. Is that over? Are you over the water when you're on that first platform?
I believe so, yeah.
When you're looking into the water, is it, on a clear day, can you see the water and how clear it is, if it is clear?
Well, the bridge is 65 feet above the water. Yeah, you can see into the water. If it hadn't been raining, you can see clearly, you can see rocks in the water.
Fish?
I don't know about that. I don't usually look for fish.
Okay. You can see down to the bottom of the creek?
Well, yeah. I don't remember that day though, whether I was seeing into the water.
All right. And what did you do while you were on the High Bridge?
Well, I just enjoyed the day. It was just, I probably haven't been out there. I've been there frequently, but I probably wouldn't have been there if it hadn't been such an exceptionally nice day and I went and took pictures. I just kind of enjoyed myself.
Now, most people I think nowadays use their iPhones to take photographs. Were you using your phone or were you using an actual camera?
I was using an Actua L camera. I had a camera on my phone, but I still enjoyed the old camera that I was using.
Do you remember what kind of camera that was?
I forget.
If you know. I mean, you may not know. Did that use the 8mm, was it a digital camera or?
It was a digital camera. I liked it because it was exceptionally good at magnification.
Okay. And how long do you think you were on the bridge, the High Bridge, taking photographs?
Well, less than a half an hour.
When you walked from Sherry's Lane, also known as the Mears entrance, to the High Bridge, did you see anybody when you walked there?
Well, at some point, I saw two people. It looked like a couple, a man and a woman. I believe I saw them when I was leaving the bridge and combing back towards the parking lot.
Okay. So you had been on the High Bridge for maybe as long as a half hour, then you got off the High Bridge and you saw that, a man and a woman.
Yeah.
And were they approaching the High Bridge when you passed them?
I think that's true.
And then?
Yeah, I honestly can't say that I didn't see them before I got to High Bridge. I don't remember well enough.
Okay. That's fine. And when you left and you may have passed this couple, did you see anybody else that you remember?
I'm not sure. That was 7 years ago or more. I kind of vaguely remember seeing some other people off in the distance, but certainly the only people I passed was this couple.
Okay. And so just so the jury's clear, if the High Bridge is here, indicates, and you're headed this way, what are you headed towards? If you're walking down the trail and the high bridge is behind you and you're on the trail, what lays ahead?
Well, more of the trail generally going west, and then there would be, well, the intersection of Sherry's Lane with the old township road that goes down to the Niches Prop Gerard Preserve.
And that's where you parked.
I parked at Sherry's Lane, right off the road, right off the county road 300 north.
Okay. And then if you kept going on, strike that. You then went and got in your car and left, is that what you said? If you know. I don't know.
I don't quite remember. I spent quite a bit of time taking pictures on the little road that is at that intersection with Sherry's Lane and goes down towards Deer Creek on Niches property. It's now Niches property, and I was particularly interested in some trees. There was an oak tree there that I like to take pictures of.
Okay. Thank you for saying that, 'cause if I'm coming down the Mears entrance, as we say, and you pass the trailhead, if you go left, you're headed toward
Deer Creek.
If you go left.
Oh, you mean coming down Sherry's Lane?
Right. And if I turn left?
Turn left, you go towards High Bridge.
If you turn right, you head toward
Veterans Plaza and the Freedom Bridge.
Freedom Bridge, right. And then, if you go straight, where do you go?
You go into the Niches property, or at that time, I'm not sure whether Niches had the property, but it was Charles Gerard's little preserve.
And was there a trail there that would take you down to the creek, or was that?
Yes, there is a trail that takes you down to the creek. It's an old township road from the 1840s.
And you said, so you spent some time on the high bridge, on the trail, and then down that trail?
Yes.
Taking photos?
Yes.
Okay. What time, if you were there between 2 and 3, what time do you think you left?
Objection. He didn't say he was there from 2 to.
Sustained.
What time did I leave? I'd say before 4 o'clock.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I wasn't paying much attention to the time.
Yeah, I understand that. What happened after you left? What did you do, if you remember?
Well, I was surprised at the number of vehicles and people at the parking lot at the Sherry's entrance, but I just quickly got into my car and left, and I don't know, I guess I went home then.
Which way did you? So if you're here, would you get on 300 north from Sherry's Lane?
Well, yes, 300 north is the county road that's right in front of the Mears' house.
Okay. Trying to figure this out. So I'm now in front of States 5, it's on a big screen. Can you familiarize yourself with that and tell me if you can, and if you cannot, I might show you some markers so you can familiarize yourself with it.
Okay. I think I recognize it pretty well.
Okay. Well, let's give you a test here. What do you think this is?
Indicates.
That would be the Mears property.
Okay. And what's?
The house and so forth.
I'm sorry. Thank you. That's the Mears property. And what's this GHT?
Well, I guess that's Sherry's Lane or what I call Sherry's Lane.
Okay. And what road is this right here? Indicates.
That would be 300 north.
All right. So you parked at Sherry's Lane right up here, right off 300 north.
Yes.
And when you left, would you have gone to the left or to the right to go home?
Well, that would be to the left to go back to Delphi.
Okay. I shouldn't say that, I don't know that you went home actually, so.
I don't know exactly what I did after that.
Do you know whether you turned left or right?
I don't. Sometimes I'd go right and I like to go down to Wilson's Bridge, which is on the creek much farther down.
Okay. Did you see anybody walking down this road right there when you left that stood out to you? Indicates.
No, I did not.
Your Honor, he's pointing to the east end from the Mears farm. The witness has not said they went that direction, so it's suggesting that that's where he said he was on the road and it's not, so I object.
Sustained.
When you're at this entrance to the Mears/Sherry's Lane and you can either turn left or right, did you see anybody on the road east of?
I did not see any pedestrians on 300 North. Do yes that answer your?
It does. Thank you. At all anywhere?
No.
Okay. But you did see some people here at?
Right at the where. It was a bit of a tiny parking lot at that point. Yes, I did see a number of people and vehicles there.
If you went left, you would pass the CPS lot, is that true?
The pardon?
Are you familiar with the CPS lot? Some people call it the CPS parking lot.
CPS?
Yeah.
No.
If you're not, that's fine.
No.
Okay. Well, at some point in time, did you hear about missing girls or anything about Abby and Libby?
Well, first, just as I was kind of approaching, going back, there were some people that came off of Sherry's Lane, the entrance there, and somebody shouted to me, "Have you seen the girls?" Or I think they said 2 girls, I don't know. And I answered back, "No." It was a shout, 'cause I wasn't all that close to the person. It was a man that shouted to me.
One thing I forgot to ask you was, when you were on the high bridge earlier.
Yes.
Before you got off the high bridge, did you hear any unusual sounds or noises?
No.
Okay. Did you hear any kind of unusual sounds or noises at all while you were out there and out and about?
No, I didn't.
All right. So after you left the high bridge and the trails, what's the next thing that you remember?
And the trails, you mean as I was?
After you left, after you'd gotten in your car and you'd gone wherever you'd gone, what's kind of the next thing that you remember?
Well, I was at home, I suppose. I don't remember that. What I do remember is, that evening I was at an HHI meeting in the Canal Center and an agency people, I don't know what agency they were from, but they see me by and they were saying that they were investigating some lost children and we all got kind of concerned at that point, and then I was really concerned too. That was about 7:30 or something like that.
Okay. At some point in time, either you go to law enforcement or law enforcement come to you because either they had learned you had been on the high bridge and on the trail or because you wanted to let them know. Did one of those two things happen?
I wanted to let them know. I'd heard of the murders and I think I called the sheriff's office and said that I had been out there that day.
And what happened then after you called them and let them know that?
Well, I think it was 3 or 4 days. It was Lou SS, then a week, 2 FBI agents, an agent from the state police, and it might have been a 4th man, I don't know, came to my house and the FBI interviewed me.
Okay. And did you give them the information similar to what you've testified to today?
Yes. My memory was better. I was more close to I tried to give them as much detail as I could.
Did you provide them with any documents or any photographs or anything?
Yes. I took out of my camera the card or SIM card or whatever it is that records the photographs and gave it to them.
And after that, did you ever talk to any law enforcement concerning the things that you saw on the trail?
Well, probably. Yeah, I was interviewed by the investigation team several times, and almost like 2 or 3 years afterwards. I didn't have the pictures anymore, but I was called in by an investigator wanting to know if I knew a car that was passing by. I was on the Niches property. I was taking a picture of a Fencipost. That sounds curious, I know, but those things interest me, and there was a car that was in the background along 300 North, quite a full distance or a field away, and I didn't know that there was a car. That was not my interest, and they asked me about that car, and I said, I have no idea about that car. It was just passing by, and it's in the distance in my picture.
And how long ago was that interaction with law enforcement?
I would say 2 or 3 years after the incident.
Okay. So what was the last interaction with law?
That's it.
That's it? So 2 or 3 years after the murders?
Pardon?
Did you say 2 or 3 years after the murders?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever get your SIM card back?
I did not get it back. The FBI agent said I would get it back probably within the week, and I never got it back.
All right. And did the state of Indiana ever subpoena you to be here for trial?
No, they did not.
No other questions.
Mr. Luttrell.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Mr. McCain. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you.
And thank you for being here today. Can I ask you the length of time you believe you were on the trail, understanding it was 7+ years ago, was around an hour, maybe a little longer?
That's about right.
And when you were interviewed by the FBI, were they taking notes?
Yes, they were.
I'm gonna ask you to take a look at this document, and just read it to yourself. I'm gonna direct your...
Judge, I'm gonna object. This is improper. It's not his. Well, may I ask some preliminary questions?
Yes.
Did you write any notes that you handed over to the FBI for their review?
No.
Have they ever handed you any notes?
No.
To review. This is improper, Judge. I object.
It's not improper, Your Honor. You can refresh recollection with any document. He can look at it and tell us whether it refreshes his recollection.
A past recollection recorded is where you're going.
Yes, Your Honor. It doesn't have to be his recorded, just past recollection.
Judge, I don't think that's a proper foundation. And plus, he hasn't said he needed his recollection refreshed.
Oh, he certainly has, Your Honor. He stated on direct that his memory was a lot better back then than it is now. I'm just seeing if this document would refresh his recollection, which is totally appropriate.
Overruled.
Judge, may I make a record on that?
Sure.
I mean, this is a documentation off of, he doesn't know whether this is accurate or not. I don't even know what this document is, honestly, but you're asking him to refresh his recollection off of notes from a law enforcement officer who may or may not have provided accurate details in the document.
I didn't, I'm sorry.
That's all. Thank you.
And that's totally appropriate, Your Honor.
Overruled.
I'm gonna ask you to read the third paragraph to yourself, and then let us know if it refreshes your recollection.
Well, there's nothing wrong there.
Well, it's important that you just let me re-ask the question, in fairness to you. Do you have a memory now of when you arrived approximately, and when you left approximately?
Well, I would hope that the notes that the FBI took, there was one agent who questioned me and the other agent was writing notes. I assumed he was writing notes about what I was saying. I would think that would be more accurate than what I remember now.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you believe you left sometime around 4 p.m. or shortly thereafter?
Yeah, I would think so, yes.
You believe you arrived and you were there approximately an hour, maybe?
Yes.
And as you were about to leave, you heard a man shouting in your direction?
Yes.
Is that right, Mr. McCain?
Yes.
And you were on your way towards your car and towards Sherry's Lane?
Yes, that's what I remember right now.
And somewhere, either on Sherry's Lane or approaching Sherry's Lane, the man shouted at you?
Yes. I think he was just coming off of Sherry's Lane, or actually he seemed to be going across the trail onto the Niches property.
And physically, was this a pretty large man?
Well, yes, I remember an orange jacket. It was a bright orange jacket, and the man was portly, and I don't know how tall he was.
And you?
I didn't see his face very well at all.
And he shouted a question at you. Is that right?
Yes.
What was the question?
It was something to the effect of, "Have you seen two girls?" And I'm pretty clear about that. I'm not sure the words.
Something about but he was shouting?
Yes.
Was there anything about the tone of his voice that you remember other than shouting?
Well, I had the impression that he was really looking for them.
Did he seem concerned to you?
Well, yeah, just by shouting at me, I think he showed his concern.
Do you think you arrived at the bridge when you went onto the bridge a distance? Did you arrive there about 3:15 or so?
Well, that sounds right, but it could have been it could have been 2:30 or something. I really don't know. 45 minutes at that point in my memory, I wasn't paying attention to time.
Thank you. Okay. But you were heading towards your car to leave when the man shouted at you. You do remember that?
Yes. Yeah, that's the way I remember it.
And he was shouting at you. Have you seen two girls? Something like that?
Yes.
Did you have your camera around your neck?
Probably. I often carried it in my hand and it had a case that I could carry around my neck, but I usually did not use it around my neck, but I could have possibly had that.
Thank you.
Mr. Baldwin.
I think on direct you said that you thought you were there around an hour.
Yes.
Could it be longer than an hour?
Yes.
Could it be shorter than an hour?
Yes.
Okay.
Most likely from my memory, it was more than an hour.
Okay. Thank you for that. And was one of the officers that met with you and wrote down those notes that you looked at a second ago, was his last name Goatee?
Oh, I don't remember any names of the agents that interviewed me.
Even if I refreshed your recollection with that document, would you be able to remember the name?
No.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
Mr. Luttrell.
I have no further questions. Thank you, sir.
Does anybody on the jury have any questions for Mr. McCain?
No response or indication from any juror.
All right. Thank you, Mr. McCain. You may step down.
Thank you.
And you may call your next witness.
Call Chief Darrell Sterrett.
Witness sworn.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. State your name for the record and spell it.